So this is my Ember Prime running absolutely rampant 1 hour into a solo steel path survival against heavy hitting, armoured to the absolute teeth enemies, while creating a constant energy supply, constant healing supply, constant crowd control, armour strip, 90% damage reduction while spreading fire throughout large groups of enemies with your Inferno ability. Time to take a breath. Whew. So you're tanky, you're stripping and reducing armour, you're knocking enemies down all the time for crowd control, and you're creating a steady supply of energy orbs for you and your teammates. Basically, this Ember is a feckin' badass. Now, how does the setup work? Because it has a lot of interaction between different abilities, which I definitely like more on Warframes, I guess, than having one that just spams the same ability. Now, first off, I forgot to set my energy colour as black, and my PC, while recording this footage, definitely needed a good lie down after it, and I had to rest because the one thing Ember does a lot of is create a lot of effects. My PC was in pain. Now, I've tried Elemental Ward on Ember, I've tried Firewalker, I've tried Breach Surge, and all of them are incredibly good options, but none of them for me performed as good as Gara's Spectro Rage ability. The augment for it and the ability itself are the key parts to this whole setup. Now, I replaced Ember's Fireball for Spectro Rage, which is Gara's mirror, I know, the kind of crappy ability that Gara has. Forget running with the Nakanazaw and the Arcane and of course the Amalgam Daiku mod like I showed off about a year ago on my really old Ember Prime video. That's outdated. Spectro Rage with its augment Spectro Siphon gives you a 50% chance to create an energy orb from enemies killed that are affected by that Spectro Rage ability. That's 1 in 2 enemies affected will definitely drop a blue orb. And when you get using this ability, you will see that the energy orbs drop like candy. Now, this allows you to have a constant uptime on your damage reduction from the immolation ability because your heat gauge will be sitting at 90%, so as much as possible, as your energy is being drained, these orbs are constantly refilling it. Not to mention, if you're in a squad, like I said, you will be giving them an endless supply of energy orbs. Now, because of this, yourself or even your teammates could be making the most out of the energy conversion mod because it will, of course, be allowing that to proc a lot more often. But also, if you wanted to, or if your squad wanted to, you could use an arcane called Arcane Eruption, which I am running in this video. This gives you a 100% chance to knock down nearby enemies when picking up an energy orb, which you're doing a lot of, so it's free crowd control. With enemies lying on their back, it allows you to avoid damage and kill enemies more effectively. The combination of both Spectro Siphon and Arcane Eruption is a really good one, and I feel like it's being a little bit maybe overlooked within the community on any frame, especially an energy hungry one. Now, that's your energy sorted if you're planning on going, I guess, on a long range endurance mission. Now it's time to add some sort of healing. You could, if you wanted to, use the Healing Flame augment on your Ember. When you keep casting Fire Blast, basically enemies affected by that Fire Blast, the more of them that get hit, the more healing you take. But you're already using the Spectro Siphon augment, which would mean having to fit a second augment into your build, which restricts it a little bit more. While also, if you find yourself having to spam, the Fire Blast ability is going to lower your heat gauge, which in turn lowers your damage reduction percentage. So you don't want that either. You will be using Fire Blast to strip armor quite a bit, but not as much, I guess, at higher levels as you would be using it if you were trying to stay alive with heals. Now, I decided I was going to run a Healing Return mod on my dual Iker instead. I could have put them on my Cronin Prime, which is arguably my most powerful melee weapon right now, or my Twin Crowcore, which I've also been really enjoying. However, the dual Iker is one of my favourite weapons in the game, and I just really like its playstyle. Healing Return will restore 11 health per status effect on enemies, which is perfect because enemies are already on fire, they're burning, and the Ikers are modded for multiple elements on them as well. So to stay healed, you just have to keep slapping enemies, and in the Steel Path, enemy spawns are increased a lot, so there's more enemies to hit. Now, the combination of Spectro Rage and its augment giving you non-stop energy is what this setup again is all about. Ember can be a energy hungry Warframe, especially when her heat gauge is sitting at 90% and the efficiency goes right out the window, but the setup is boosted by Healing Return and Arcane Eruption if you wanted to use the two of those, entirely up to the user, but they are good fun. Now, this is the Ember build I tested for this footage. I'm sure you can tweak it or fine tune it to allow you something more fitting to your playstyle. Again, as I always say, you do you. And before someone says it, yes, this is a melee heavy playstyle, but let's be real, right? Let's be real. Right now in Warframe, melee are the best weapons we have, which I guess some of you will look at it as being a bit sad. It's a mindless spamming playstyle, but it does get the job done. But by all means, let me know in the comment section below what you added onto your Ember, what ability you infused on there, if you did any at all, or what you plan on doing. And as always, thanks for watching.